Clint McLaughlin here with Midwest Market Management. I got Riley Sykard here joining me. It's April 1st, about 10:30 a.m. We're going to dive into U.S. weather. We try to keep this from a national yield perspective, as well as we do talk a little bit about any weather changes, how they may or may not be impacting the grain markets. How are you today, Riley?
Doing good today. A lot going on. Actually, some stuff in the forecast that's potentially being a part of the market moves today. So kind of interesting to actually get into the start of a true weather cycle and season.
Yeah, absolutely. And now keep in mind today's April 1st. Yesterday was the March 31st planning intentions and quarterly stocks report. So the markets are still, searching for common ground and where they maybe need to be after the report. We took the markets down pretty hard going into the report. So a little bit of stabilization going on here today, and it's kind of a mixed bag if that's the fear of the report behind us, and also maybe are we going to start putting a little weather premium into this market as we move into the U.S. planting season. Riley, you want to pull up some weather maps here and let's just dive right in?
Yep, let's get right to it. First thing looking at here, temperatures right now, people planting in the Delta, ideal conditions up here in the central to upper Midwest. Not really anything concerning right now on the weather front. Not really the time of year where we'd expect a big weather issue or temperature issue right now, unless there was a freeze warning.
If anything, we're looking for things to warm up here a little bit and start getting the soil temperatures up here. I do want to point out a little bit on the infrastructure of our maps here. These are Marcus Weather Group maps that we really like their layout, and you can build them to see anything you want. But what we're looking at is the 5-day average maximum temperature. So it's the maximum temperature averaged out over the course of the next 5 days is what we're looking at here. So you get into Iowa and Minnesota, you're still seeing some relatively cool temperatures in here.
Yep. And the 6 to 10 days helping to correct that stuff, starting to warm up as we get into through this first week of April and the second, more into the time where people are really starting to want to get planters rolling and stuff rocking and rolling. So good to see temperatures look like overall they're going to be improving and warming up. To the north. To the south actually shows the opposite, but still 60-degree weather is nothing to be concerned about. So then moving in here, looking over the last 13 days, there's actually been rainfall almost across all the areas that grow corn. I mean, not really anything to be concerned about right now that there's going to be a germination issue due to lack of moisture in the soil. Clint, you got anything to add to that?
No, I think we're moving into the point where, the whole country is, well aware of the fact that we're on the dry side. And we could use more moisture, but now we're moving into a time period, in my opinion, where I think moisture is going to be perceived as friendly to the grain markets. I think we have enough moisture mostly to get germinated for most of the Midwest. And so any major rains now would be perceived as delays. Now we can handle quite a bit of moisture because we are dry. So I don't see anything overly alarming here and now, but moving forward, I do believe that moisture will be perceived as friendly.
Yep. And proving into that fact, looking at soil moisture on the surface, places could use water, but are not in critical need unless you get into Kansas or the Dakotas or the areas that really could use some moisture, but overall, not anything super concerning yet. Subsoil proving that too. We got a lot of yellow, below average stuff, but nothing critical right now. Drought monitor map showing a pretty similar story. Areas actually coming completely out of being in any type of conditions, whether you're in southern Iowa or state of Ohio. Areas right now are actually getting moisture, and that's improving conditions as we're getting into the growing season. So taking some of the fear out of the market, but at the same time, we're getting into the time where it's all being added to. So Moving into the 1 to 5 day, this is probably the most interesting map of the day. Clint, you want to go a little bit more into this?
Oh, well, clearly, I don't think there's ever any point in the growing season where anybody wants 7 inches of rain. So, this is going to be it's a lot of rain, and it's in a pretty isolated area. And it is a time where these guys either have planted or are planting. And so they'd probably just as well be, not have it. Also, if you look at Indiana and Ohio, they're getting a fair amount of rain on this map, assuming that it materializes in probably rain that they don't want, and that 3 to 4 inch stuff will keep them out of the fields for a little while. So, is it a wildly bullish scenario? Absolutely not. Does it have something to do with why we're seeing so much green on the screen here today? Certainly a possibility. If it doesn't continue and we don't make a trend out of this, I don't think this is anything that is a national yield impacting scenario.
I agree. 6 to 10 day kind of showing as well. Rainfall is supposed to slow down a little bit. So at that time, I mean, there's some chances in that same area where there's continued rainfall, but the 6 to 10 day, it's so hard to predict and see what's going to come. And
yeah, and the Western Corn Belt in this situation is dry. This map's running through April 10th. You couple that with the temperature forecast that you're looking at. If this holds true, I imagine you'll be seeing a lot of beans getting planted into the ground that time during this outlook period here.
Yep. And putting it all together, if you look at the 1 to 13 day, I mean, pretty clear to see everybody's getting some kind of precip, whether it's a large amount in that southern area that we just mentioned, or even if you get to the west, I mean, states like South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, getting enough to put moisture into the soil. So the drought issue as of right now, I would say, is pretty much a non-factor, don't you think?
In the Midwest, yeah, there's still certainly areas out there. I know that panhandle of Texas and then Oklahoma, Kansas, boy, I bet they would, this would be a great time of year for them to get some rain for wheat and other forages that they've got growing at this time.
Yep. But overall, that's all we have today. I mean, not a super...
Yeah, you want to pull up the markets here a little bit. We'll just chat on that briefly here. I think you had yeah. So as I mentioned, we had quite a bit of green on the screen here today. December corn, I'm showing it currently is trading for 46 area. So again, back to yesterday's report, and versus weather, it's hard to determine how much of this is bouncing after the report and getting the fear of that out of the way, and premium, just weather premium. I don't think that there's anything wildly bullish in the weather, but boy, we drove this thing down to some pretty low levels to be rolling into U.S. planting season. So feels to me like this market's wanting to swell up here just a little bit, just to put some what if scenario risk premium into the market. Other than that, Riley, I don't have a whole lot here today. Do you?
No, I think that's about all I got. Just this weather, we're coming to the time where it's actually going to start mattering. So stay tuned and keep seeing. I mean, we're doing these reports on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's something to watch and important to see, but at the same time, it's not something to be overanalyzing day in and day out. And it's about keeping your mindset in the right place and using it to help make our marketing decisions. So,
yep. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time here today, Riley. Hope everybody enjoyed the weather comments, and you can find it on our Facebook and YouTube pages, and hopefully enjoy it and feel free to share with a friend. Thanks a lot and have a great day.